A Monday during high school football season means I've got your rankings coming your way. This time for Class A. Again, my name is Cade Nissen, delivering you guys our rankers' rankings and some of their reasoning behind it. So without further ado, let's get right into it. We got Class A, starting with number 16, getting right into it. Logan Magnolia. Let me pull up my sheet really quick. Logan Magnolia. They dropped down 2 after beating Tri-Center 34-21. Few new teams in here. Someone needed to drop out. It was Kingsley Pearson. And Kingsley Pearson's still a really good team, and they get a shot this week against a ranked opponent to get back into the top 16. But at the end of the day, Logan Magnolia beat Kingsley Pearson, so Logan Magnolia gets the nod at number 16. At number 15, Earlham. They had a shot to take down the number 1 team in Class A this week. Couldn't quite do so. Really competitive game, 13-6. They dropped down 2 spots to number 15. Also dropping down, South Central Calhoun. They beat ICAM Manning 35-7, so they take over this number 14 spot. Big game for the Titans this week. And at number 13, moving down, they after a loss to a top 5 team, St. Ansgar was the team that beat Nashville Plainfield. Nashville Plainfield will hold down that number 13 spot. Making a big jump was Starman. I've been really impressed with them, and so as our ranker, they beat North Cedar 50-8. And really, this 10 through 12 is just it's a mess because each team has beaten each other. Okay, so North, you know what I mean, East Buchanan or Starman's going to say, "Hey, we beat East Buck. Why aren't we ahead of them?" Well, Starman lost to North Lynn. North Lynn loses to East Buck. It's just it's a weird triangle right now between 10 through 12. So really you can make an argument for either way, but our Class A ranker kind of went with the most recent success, and that was East Buck beating North Lynn. So East Buck kind of got that 10 spot, little spoiler, but East Buck at the number 10 spot. So Starman, they move up to number 12 with a win over North Cedar. North Lynn, they moved down a big chunk after losing to East Buck by a lot in a game that finished past midnight, like we'll talk about. But again, 10 through 12 is kind of a mess because each team has beaten each other. So really, you can make it go either way. But for the sake of transparency, we just did the most recent success, which was East Buck beating North Lynn in a game, like I said, that finished past midnight, getting into our top 10 right here. Talk about a bounce-back win. After getting blasted last Thursday night by Starman, the number 12 team, and dropping out of our ranks, the Buccaneers literally came out of nowhere and put a hurting on the then number 2 North Lynn Lynx in a game that ended past midnight because of a long delay with the lights. And according to Bound, East Buck didn't throw a single pass in the 27-point win. Tanner Thurn, 19 for 209 on the ground and 4 scores. As East Buck gets 1-4 North Cedar next. So again, East Buck, big win over then number 2 North Lynn, our team of the week, and they hop back into our ranks after dropping out last week into the number 10 spot. At number 9, ACGC. ACGC, they really haven't blown anyone out of the water yet, but they've won every single game they've played. They're 5-0. And that trend continued in a 12-point win over a pesky Riverside. Anthony Solorzano and Jathan South ran for 100+ in the victory. And the Chargers have kind of become like my kind of Cinderella, I'd say, in Class A, a team that was not ranked at all heading into the season, and they've just won every single game, and they get another shot this week against a 3-2 ICAM Manning squad to keep that streak going. A lot of undefeated teams in Class A still to this point. At number 8, talking about Class A, sorry. Number 8, Columbus. Columbus averaged 23 yards per carry as a team in a 50-0 win over Highland. Riley Kalberg touched the ball just 6 times, but had 255 yards and 3 scores. That is crazy. Columbus could be a sneaky team once the brackets come around, and as our ranker said, I wouldn't want to play these guys. Columbus has 0-5 Louisa Muscatine next. Again, they move up 1 spot. At number 7, Maquoketa to Valley. I'm not sure I've ever seen a guy rush for 10+ attempts and average 30 yards a carry, but that's what Lance McShane did against Clayton Ridge. 10 attempts, 304 yards, and 5 scores was the senior's final line in a rout over Clayton Ridge. He is one of the most explosive players in Class A. And like our ranker said, this dude is scary, and he's going to give the Cats a shot every time he's on the field. They've got 3-2 Bellevue next. At number 6, Linville Sully. There's no doubt about it. The Hawks just aren't the same without Now and Harder. They went up just 11-10 at halftime against a 2-2 Wayne team. They were able to pull it out and get a 26-10 victory. This team may continue to drop in the ranks, but there's no doubt that once they get their star back, they are an automatic contender and a top 5 team. They've got 3-2 Mount Ayr next. Going to be a really good game because Mount Ayr is a good team. Before we do that, I got to switch over to our top 5, and we do have some movement in here. And two new top 5 teams. Lisbon, the first one. Lisbon showed their grit in a 17-7 win over a sneaky good Pekin team. Pekin was able to hold Baylor Speidel, their star running back, in check, but Dakota Clark's 9 for 14 day for 95 yards through the air, and Tiernan Boots' kickoff return for a score pushed the Lions to their 5-0 start. We definitely underestimated this team preseason, and there's no doubt this team is a contender, and they are proving us wrong. They enter the top 5 for the first time this year, and they get 1-4 Wapello next. At number 4, they are new into the top 5 for this week, but they are not new to the top 5 in this, to start this year. That West Hancock was our number 1 team until a loss in week 3 to St. Ansgar. But take that score out, and their combined point total is 226-13 across their 4 other victories. 226-13. Yeah, that's pretty nuts. This team returned 2 1,000-yard backs from last year's runner-up team, and they are picking up right where they left off. 441 yards on the ground as a team, including an astonishing 13 yards per carry as a team. Yeah, every time they ran the ball, they got a first down. And that was en route to a rout this week. They get an interesting matchup this week against 4-1 and number 14 South Central Calhoun. Sneaky good matchup there in Class A. At number 3, Woodbury Central. They just keep climbing and they keep winning. Pure domination the last month for the Cats, putting up 39+ in each of their last 4 games. Clunder and McGill had another solid day. Just 2 catches for the top target in the class, but it went for 108 yards and a score. All-around impressive ball being played so far, but they'll get tested when they head to Bo Goodwin's house and Kingsley Pearson this week against Kingsley Pearson. I'd probably say the first team outside of the top 16. They're still a really good team. Just a loss to Logan Magnolia is the reason they're not in it. At number 2, moving up a spot, St. Ansgar. A sneaky good matchup in Class A this week went the Saints' way. They beat Nashua Plainfield, a top 10 team, then top 10 team. Jay Schweisau was just 1 for 7 through the air, but 9 yards per carry as a team was a solid recipe for success as Christian McKells led the way with 140 yards and a score. 3 other Saints scored a touchdown on the ground. This defense is proving to be stingy, holding 4 of 5 opponents under 16 points, and the one that went over that 16 points was a 2A ranked team in Osage in week 1. So St. Ansgar, their last 4 games, have not allowed a team over 16 points, and they get 1-4 West Fork next. You can really make a case for St. Ansgar being the number 1 team. They are the number 1 team in a few other polls that I follow. So you can really make that case. But as of right now, you can't take it away from Madrid, and they're just narrowly escaping in these games, which is just impressive to me. 3 out of the 5 wins this year for Madrid have been coming by 1 possession, and 2 of those wins have been by 1 point. So the number 1 team in Class A certainly has the target on their back, but they are fending it off narrowly. Preston Wicker threw it just 4 times as the offense relied heavily on their big 3 rush attack of Wicker, Fuller, and Ramirez. Each of those 3 guys had between 80 and 90 yards. So more than 80, but no more than 90. So really efficient amongst those 3 guys. And the target will stay on the Tigers' back for another week. They got a sneaky one this week against 4-1 Central Decatur. 4-1, not in our rankings, but I tell you what, Class A has no team where I'm like, yep, that is your state title, like team to have it right now, just because Madrid's just barely fending off people. It seems like everyone has a slip up. I would say St. Ansgar might be the odds-on favorite, Woodbury Central up there, and I would have made the case for West Hancock, but they have the 1 loss, so I don't know. Class A is just so interesting this year. Going to be a ton of fun once the playoffs start and we get brackets going, but we're not there yet. Plenty of time left to go. Madrid's still your number 1 team, and that is all I have for Class A. Be sure to like this video. Subscribe to IA Sports if you're not. Most of you will be surprised that you're not subscribed to IA Sports, that you're just clicking the link to watch this. So please subscribe, support us, leave a comment, share the video with your community if you're watching this as a team from Class A. Want to get IA football to as many people as possible so we can keep on doing this. But nevertheless, I appreciate you guys for tuning in. In Class A, I will catch you guys next week.